This is one of the most boring-looking objects in the solar system. A small, gray, frozen ball of ice and rock, less than 400 kilometers across, so battered by craters that for decades scientists assumed it was geologically dead, a fossil, frozen solid all the way through. You probably even recognize it. With that one enormous crater staring out, it looks uncannily like the Death Star from Star Wars. Its name is Mimas, a little moon of Saturn. And in 2024, it became one of the biggest surprises in the search for life beyond Earth. Because the evidence now says that underneath all that dead, cratered ice, Mimas may be hiding a global ocean of liquid water. Not an ancient, frozen one, a young one. This is the story of the moon nobody expected, and what it might mean. Welcome to the cold beyond. To understand the shock, you have to know what Mimas was supposed to be. One of Saturn's mid-sized moons, dominated by Herschel, a crater about a third as wide as the whole moon. Everything about it says old and inert. A surface this heavily cratered is nothing, has resurfaced in billions of years. No smooth plains, no fresh ice, no sign of anything moving underneath. Mimas was the textbook dead ice ball, and we looked closely. NASA's Cassini spacecraft spent 13 years at Saturn. It watched the neighboring moon Enceladus vent enormous jets of water into space, a dramatic sign of an ocean below. Mimas showed nothing like that. No plumes, no cracks, no warmth. By every visible measure, the dead moon everyone expected, which is exactly why what came next was so strange. The clue wasn't on the surface at all. It was in the way Mimas moves. As a moon orbits its planet, it doesn't turn perfectly smoothly. It rocks back and forth, very slightly, like a cradle. Astronomers call this libration. And here's the key idea. Exactly how a moon rocks depends on what's inside it. A moon that's frozen solid all the way through wobbles one way. A moon with a hidden liquid layer. An ocean sloshing under the ice. Wobbles differently because the shell can move a little independently of the core. So, a team led by Valerie Laney went back to all those Cassini images and measured Mimas's rocking motion with extraordinary precision. And the wobble didn't fit a solid moon. It fit a moon with a global ocean beneath its ice. A shell of frozen water, maybe 20 to 30 kilometers thick, floating on liquid water that may make up roughly half the moon. They published it in the journal Nature in 2024. The last moon anyone would have guessed, betraying an ocean not by anything we could see, but by the way it sways. Now, this is the part where we pump the brakes, because the honest framing matters here. Nobody has seen this ocean. No probe has touched it. There are no plumes spraying it into space, no cracks we can point to. The entire case rests on interpreting a tiny orbital wobble, and a wobble can, in principle, be explained more than one way. The leading alternative was that Mimas has a strangely shaped solid interior, an elongated, almost football-shaped rocky core that could mimic some of the same motion without any liquid at all. What the 2024 analysis argued is that the ocean explanation fits the data better than the odd core explanation. That's a strong result, and a lot of scientists find it convincing. But fits the data best is not the same as confirmed. This is an inference, drawn from how a moon moves, not a direct observation of water. So the right way to hold this is carefully. The evidence points to a hidden ocean inside Mimas. It has not been proven, and it would be a mistake to pretend otherwise. But here's the detail that makes this genuinely wild, and, oddly, helps explain the mystery. If Mimas has an ocean, it appears to be astonishingly young, formed perhaps only within the last few to tens of millions of years. On a moon billions of years old, that's basically yesterday. And a young ocean solves the very problem that made this so hard to believe. If the ocean is new, it hasn't had time to crack the surface the way we see on Enceladus. So all those ancient craters stay perfectly preserved, while liquid water quietly appears in the dark beneath them. It would mean Mimas isn't a dead moon that hid an ocean for eons. It's a moon that may have become an ocean world recently, one we might be catching in the act. And that tells us something profoundly small. Frozen, lifeless-looking worlds can turn into ocean worlds. And the ones we've written off may deserve a second look. Why does one little moon's wobble matter so much? Because of the company it might be joining. The search for life has quietly shifted toward ocean worlds. Moons with liquid water locked under ice. Enceladus has a confirmed ocean and sprays it into space, where Cassini flew through the plume and tasted the building blocks of life. Europa, at Jupiter, almost certainly hides a vast ocean too. So much so that NASA launched the Europa Clipper mission to study it. Liquid water is the one ingredient life, as we know it can't do without. And every ocean world we add is another place the basic conditions for life might exist. Mimas would be the most unlikely member of that club, the smallest, most battered, the one we were most certain was dead. To be clear, an ocean is not life, and nobody is claiming Mimas is habitable. But it widens the map. It says ocean worlds may be far more common and far better hidden than we thought. So how do we go from inferred to confirmed? Not from old data. Cassini's mission ended in 2017, and we've squeezed about all we can from its images. The answer is a return. A future spacecraft could measure Mimas's gravity and wobble up close, and settle what's inside, or hunt for the faint heat or vapor an ocean might leak. The same way Europa, Clipper will interrogate Europa. A dedicated visit could finally read the inside of Mimas. Until then, it stays where the honest science leaves it. A strong, surprising, unconfirmed case. A dead-looking moon that may be quietly, recently alive with liquid water, betrayed only by the way it rocks as it circles Saturn. For decades we looked at Mimas and saw a frozen fossil. We may have been looking at an ocean world the whole time, and simply not known how to see it. If you want the honest version of the search for life beyond Earth, the real science behind the headlines, this is the channel for it. This is the cold beyond. The universe is colder, stranger, and closer to an answer than you think. I'll see you in the next one.